Before them stretched a magnificent mountain range. The sun was dipping below it, casting its golden rays upon the peaks which, although not terribly jagged or high, were still very impressive. Patches of snow still covered some of the highest peaks. They tread carefully down the top of the hill and into the valley. By nightfall they found a small clearing. The temperature had dropped considerably, and Kathy went to look for some firewood. She set it down on a patch of dirt. "You see a piece of flint around here anywhere?" she asked him. "How about you use these instead?" He held out a pack of matches. "Matches? Why'd you bring them? Did you know this was going to happen?" "I thought it might be necessary to disappear for a while. I hadn't exactly anticipated our present surroundings. I had more stuff in the car, but—" He didn't feel he needed to finish that sentence. They weren't able to build a very large fire, but it was sufficient to keep them warm. They sat down on a fallen log in front of the fire. "Too bad you didn't pack any marshmallows. I could go for some s'mores about now." "I could go for waking up and finding out it was all just a bad dream," Jay said. "Hey, I thought about something. Remember how you said we should leave the country? Well, the Russian Republic has a facility similar to the Center for Disease Control. They might be able to help us. The Pasteur Institute in France and the Japanese also have done pioneering medical research. They could probably help too." "I thought about that, but those are nations friendly to ours. The Russians aren't our enemies anymore, but we're not what I would call friends. We know the government's trying to keep this a secret. They might be able to use that to get more concessions from us, so they'd be more willing to help." "You want to use this information against our own country?" he asked, incredulous. "Jay, you and your idealism. I swear it will be your undoing, but for crying out loud, don't let it be mine. There are too many lives at stake for us to sacrifice ourselves on the altar of some hollow ideal." "Hollow ideal? They shoot people for that kind of stuff." "Maybe you are on drugs after all," she shot bitterly. "What do you mean? Do you think the guy on the bridge was shooting at us with a water pistol? We've already been sentenced to death. Why are you concerned about betraying a government who already betrayed us anyway?" "It legitimizes what they're doing to us. It destroys our credibility." "Jay, it is time for me to write you out a reality check. We don't have any credibility. We are wanted by the state of Iowa for murder. Everyone thinks we are coke-snorting, homicidal maniacs toting weapons of mass destruction. You don't get much more discredited than that. Look, it was just my initial reaction to the idea of betraying my country to a foreign power. There are those who still hold some things sacred." "And just what is that supposed to mean? Get off your high horse, Jay. I'm trying to save your sorry ass. As of this moment, I am the only person on the entire planet who cares whether or not you wake up tomorrow. The least you could do is respect my integrity." "Kathy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to attack you. I just felt like I had to say something in my defense. Look, it's late, and it's time we get some rest. We're tired and cranky." "I'm cranky?" "No, I said we are, as in both of us. I mean, just listen to us. We've never fought before, not once in all the time we've known each other." Jay paused. No, they never had fought before the parasite epidemic began, making everyone hostile towards each other, before powerful forces started gunning for him. "You go check the car. I'll go look back at the restaurant just to be sure." A shot of bile hit his stomach. He gulped and started slowly walking backwards away from her. "Jay, what are you—" "Why didn't you come with me to the car? Did you know what was going to happen?" Now she was pissed. "Oh no, you did not just go there." He didn't relent, still horrified by the implications of the realizations he had come to. "You're infected too, aren't you?" He pointed at her, his hand shaking. "Jay, you're the Dr. Wannabe. Have I been acting crazy like everyone else? Have I shown any of the symptoms that everyone else seems to have? Or have I been the only voice of reason through all the craziness in the past couple of months? You're the one who's suddenly acting crazy. How do I know you're not infected? For that matter, how do you know?" Jay considered that for a minute. "I'm not acting crazy. We were having an argument that escalated quickly. I still don't think either of us is infected, but now I can't be sure about where your true loyalties lie." "How dare you? I defended you in front of everyone, put my own future and even my life on the line for you. That man at the train station was the creep from the rest stop. He was there to kill me. He followed me in there and had a silenced pistol in his coat. I could be dead right now because of you." "How do I know he wasn't there to clean up the trail? That maybe you screwed up in D.C. when the bomb went off early and he was there to remove the evidence?" Jay was becoming more and more paranoid by the minute. He suddenly felt claustrophobic and his pulse quickened. Could he really trust no one at all? "So you want to go to Russia, huh? How much are they offering you? How much money am I worth to you?" "Oh, you really do want a serious ass-kicking, don't you?" she said as she started towards him, fire in her eyes. Jay swiftly picked up a large rock near his feet and cocked his arm back. Kathy froze in her tracks, shocked. "Don't come another step closer." "Jay, stop this. You're really scaring me now. You don't really want to hurt me. I know you don't." The anger was gone from her voice now, as she became genuinely concerned for her own safety. "How do they always know where we are, huh? I certainly haven't been telling them." "I don't know, Jay. It's the government. They have satellites and tracking devices and who knows what else. What will it take for you to trust me?" "I'm sorry, Kathy, but I can't trust anyone anymore, not even you. So this is where we go our separate ways. If you're truly innocent in all this, I'm sorry. If that's the case, you've done enough for me. Find the nearest town, go back home, and do what you can from there. But one way or the other, don't follow me. You're right, I don't want to hurt you, but I'll defend myself if I have to. Don't put me in that position." "Jay, this is crazy. We're lost out in the middle of nowhere. We need each other right now. Neither one of us will make it out of here alive if we split up." He started backing away from her again, rock still in hand. "I'm dead serious. When I finally turn around, I had better not see you behind me." "Please don't do this. I'm scared. I have no idea where we are. I have no food, no water. How long do you think I'll last out here by myself?" she said, her eyes starting to water. He kept his eyes firmly on her, still backing up, not saying anything. "Jay, stop. You keep backing up over that ridge. You're going to trip or something." He stopped, eyes still fixed on her. "You can't go that way anyway. The other side of the ridge is probably too steep." The rocky outcropping Jay was standing on suddenly gave way. As he lost his footing, he grabbed blindly at the small tree branches to his left side, finally gaining a handhold on an old tree root exposed by the falling rock and soil. He looked down and realized Kathy's remark about the other side being too steep was quite the understatement. It was a 100-foot vertical drop into a boulder-strewn ravine. The pain from wrenching his shoulder knocked the wind out of him, and he struggled to gain a handhold for his other hand and find something solid to rest his feet on. But his other limbs flayed about uselessly, finding nothing. Suddenly, he felt a strong grip on his wrist. "Kathy, don't! You'll fall too!" he grunted through the pain. She ignored him, pulling on his arm with all her strength. He felt himself rise a little, and he swung his right leg over the ridge, where it promptly got tangled in a bush. Now, with a greater percentage of his body weight supported by solid ground, she was able to finish pulling him up, and they both collapsed to the forest floor, scraped, bruised, and exhausted. "Jay," Kathy wheezed between pants of breath, "if I was on their side, if I was somehow involved in this crazy plot to kill you, you'd be dead by now." He knew, finally, that she was right. He grabbed her hand. "I'm so sorry, Cav. I don't know what came over me." "It's all right. We're both shaken and scared by everything that's happened. Now it's just the two of us versus the entire world. We've got to trust each other, because there's no one else we can turn to. We'll never make it alone." Only together can we hope to see this through." And then, only maybe, she didn't add,